Welcome to Chapter 1 in Computerized Accounting. And as I noted on the Canvas site, we won't have any graded assignment in QuickBooks this week. This is just your opportunity to get familiar with the program and to be able to download files and things of that nature. So, we'll skip this. So let's first step back a minute and talk about what QuickBooks is. It is accounting software. It is widely used accounting software. And while they say that it is designed with the non-accountant in mind, I'm not completely sure that's true. In my years in practice, I've had many clients using QuickBooks in their own businesses. And one of my greatest challenges is when a client brings me in their QuickBooks file and expects that I'm going to do something meaningful with it. QuickBooks is only as good as the knowledge of the person putting the information into QuickBooks. QuickBooks, for the most part, will not outthink you. If you incorrectly input a transaction, maybe occasionally you'll get some sort of a warning notice, but for the most part, QuickBooks will let you do things incorrectly. So you have to have some basic accounting understanding to ensure that what you are putting in is actually accurate information. And as I said, QuickBooks is just the computerized version of a manual accounting software setup where we used to use ledger cards and things like that. We don't use special journals in QuickBooks, so we don't have to worry about those. But our transactions will largely be created using the vendor menu, customer menu, employee menu, and banking menu. We'll use some other menus, but for the most part, our transactions will come from those menus. In terms of the comparison between QuickBooks versus a manual system, QuickBooks is going to be doing a lot of things behind the scenes. With a manual system, you might physically just write a check and post it in your check register. With QuickBooks, you're going to not only write the check, but you're going to categorize that transaction so that as QuickBooks records that transaction, it can make the appropriate entries into your journal, your general ledger, and that will feed into your trial balance. You can then create financial statements based on the information that you've entered. But again, if you don't properly categorize your transactions, then your financial statements will be inaccurate. So we have QuickBooks is basically 4 layers, I will say. We've got your new company setup. We've got lists and centers that we will, for the most part, operate from, activities and reports. So we're going to create our new company. And by the way, if you hear something in the background, my husband's doing some work. Anyway, we're going to create a company name, establish basically all our company profile information. Some of our initial profile information will also work to populate some of the areas in the lists centers. And we will be spending much of the later remaining part of the semester dealing with these areas, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them now. Recording your daily activities is going to be the thing that you do most regularly in QuickBooks. You're entering bills, you're paying bills, you're billing customers, you're taking in their payments. This is really the meat of what QuickBooks does, and we'll be spending the bulk of our time this semester on these activities. And then lastly, we've got to be able to generate reports from the activities that we perform during our accounting period. And so QuickBooks allows us not only to do our basic financial statement type reports, but we can do all kinds of management or accounting related reports that just give us some information about different facets of our business and how it's operating. So, and you can feel free to quiz yourself here, but I'm not going to spend time on the quick check. Anyway, I'm actually going to pause here and we'll move on to the next video for the installation of QuickBooks.